traders, could we potentially be going into expansion mode? Could potentially be, right? We're back in the fours for CPI. This is incredible, I think. If by all means, I think Jerome Powell right now is smoking a fat cigar, patting his back, drinking a good coffee. He's out somewhere. He's saying, man, I should just already get my vacation going because they're patting their back today. The Fed might have tackled down inflation. Let's talk all about it. Let's get to the live trading action. This is it here, team. It's going to be a big day. Let's find out. Do we go combing the ditches? Does the growth stocks get moving? Let's find out right here, live trading.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, good morning, team. Let's go ahead. Let's bring on the boys. The boys, right? We got Ryan Faloona. We got Zunaid in the house. You guys smash a like if you guys enjoy this show. Let's get to the action. We will take a look anywhere that you guys want today because the truth is today's going to be one of those days that we're going to have a lot of action. A lot of action, right? We're already getting it in this morning from the CPI report that came in, and it came in just 0.1% down from the estimate of 5%. Of course, 4.9 year over year reading. Prior was 5%. The estimate was 5%. We were expected to stay right in the middle. We actually went down. That's the reaction that we're seeing here. Now the only question is, will the rally hold? I feel like it will hold. It's up there to 414, hanging at the top of the range here for the SPY. And who knows? We could be on marching our way to 420s. Let's find out. What are you guys looking at? And what do you guys think, at least first, CPI reaction initial?
So my knee-jerk CPI reaction came in a little light. The report is mixed. So I'm almost wondering if we fade the rally here today. I want to see what happens with the VIX being crushed. We were talking right before we came on, shorting tech seems like a dumb idea. I'm totally with that. But as far as where this market goes, I don't know. I got a sneaking suspicion that we fade the pre-market rally here today.
All right. Well, you guys hear from Ryan. I'm going to be on the opposite camp, and that's what a market's all about, right?
Well, so let me be very clear, because you're actually talking about trading things right now. I'm telling you that one of the things I'm waiting is for this to pan out, because I don't feel as if I have a trading angle right now. And it was, as far as the small account goes, I'm out of day trades today, so I'm really, really hesitant to take anything unless it's a small size, small cap swing. Frankly.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm in the point where I'm on the complete flip, right? And I think that this is very important sometimes to be able to do, which is hard, right? Have one mentality and completely just flip it back upside down, right? So I was in the mentality of doing what? You guys know I've been doing it. I've been shorting oil, right? I've been trying to nail the oil game back down, right? Well, today's one of those days that I got to do what? I got to understand that the rotation's going against me, and I'm not going to go ahead and fight it. So right at the bell, I'll be working out of XOM, I'll be working out of XLE, and I'll be working out of FAZ. So all these trades are going to the dump right now. And why? Because of what happened today. And so instead of fighting the reaction, what do I got to do? I got to cover out, take very tiny losses, because I was in the green from these positions. But it's kind of one of those things where if I don't quickly get out of it, this is quickly how you go ahead and completely ruin a trade, right? Where it went from green to not only slightly red, but deep into the red. That's not what I will be doing today. So it's okay to be flexible on your decision-making there. At least in my mentality here, what do I want to do? Just want to get out of these trades. There's no reason to stick around now. FAZ, I think you'll start seeing the banks actually go up today. I'm going to be looking at XOM. That could actually go up today, right? XLE. All these could actually continue higher. And so in my case here, I'm at least happy I at least have one to the long side, which is Gilead from yesterday. Swung this based on their breaking news that came out in the middle of the day. But I'm going to be taking a lot more swing trades today. And I don't have trades in the Moomoo account, but I still will pull up my Moomoo account, of course. But I'm going to be definitely taking more of my swing trading account and day trading account to try to push into today's action. What will I be looking at? I'll be looking into the dumpster. What does that mean? ARKK, baby. You know it, Kathy. I'm looking at your dumpster today, and it looks like it's on fire. So I'm ready to go ahead and get after this. I'll be looking at Unity. I'll be looking at Snow. Snow, why? Because we saw really good news, preliminary results from ZS. Pan W has been going up higher. CrowdStrike has been going up higher. So why not Snow continue higher? That's already pushing strong. We'll look to see some of those names like that, ARKK names. You can roll through these towards the open. I will be watching a lot of these. So if you guys got any of those on your radar, definitely throw them up. Kicking it to you guys now. What are you seeing, Ryan?
All right. Well, first, let's talk about the SPY. I know we talked about it a little bit when we did the reactions to the, and this is working today, right? If I switch, yes, sir. Okay.
Nice.
So the SPY, remember yesterday I told you I drew this trend line and I intentionally drew it short to see if it gets invalidated right away. Well, it sure looks like it's going to get invalidated today. Now, what I really need for this is going to be a close or actually several closes above this trend line to completely invalidate it on a more longer term perspective. So that's kind of what I'm watching here today. As far as direction for the market, I'm thinking 415, 415.60, probably the high, unless we try to test 417.60. That to me seems out of reach after this pop, but stranger things have happened before. So the target that I'd be looking at here is going to be 415.60 on the upside. And then the target on the downside would be right near the actual trend line. That would put us at about 411.5, maybe 412 or a little bit under. These are the types of things that I'd be looking for. As far as, what the market's going to do today, like I was just saying, I'm kind of puzzled by the whole thing. So what I want to do is see how we trade early. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually traded up and then kind of faded in the afternoon. So one of the things I might do is watch for an SQQQ swing, which would be able to play in the small account, because buying it, I wouldn't really be too afraid of it getting absolutely destroyed. It doesn't move around all that much, and I can very easily hold this overnight into tomorrow's session. Now, I'm not going to be at my desk tomorrow or Friday, but I shouldn't be in the air yet by the time the market opens. So if I need to close this position in the pre-market or right around the opening print, I should be able to do that, providing I do go long here. Let's check out really quickly. Let me just go ahead and check out the small account. So went the wrong direction yesterday, unfortunately. Took a day trade that was not a great one. Ended up getting stopped out of that. Of course, the only thing I currently have in the account right now is the one share of Grab that was gifted to me. As long as I hold this account above $100, I'll get a couple of more shares in there. And I'm just going to let those sit. I'm not going to sell them or do anything with them at this time. Excuse me.
Too on that case, Ryan, I'm doing the same thing. So I don't know where your Grab spot is, but I'm doing the same thing. I'm just holding it because to sell it really doesn't really give me much. But if I can hold it, maybe the stock makes like a point move. That could make me actually a little bit more, right? And so who knows, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we'll see what happens. I fully intend on collecting these other Grab shares, so we'll see what happens when I have 5. This stock has ran to 15 before, so if I just sit on it and one day I wake up and it's double digits, giddy up. We'll go from there. But again, as far as the actual account goes here, let me go to the trade tab and then go to the securities trading layout that I have. As you can see, for today and tomorrow, I have no day trades. So I'm going to be very, very careful in this account. Like I said, really the only thing I can see myself taking now would be an SQQQ trade if we do get down there. Looking at the SQQQ, let me go ahead and bring up my Pro again here. Oh, that's cool. I can just leave Pro up in the background. That actually works out nicely. Okay. As far as Pro goes, looking at SQQQ, let's take a look. And then we'll go ahead and go through some of these movers here. I don't have a whole lot, Zunaid, so don't worry. I'm going to leave you even more time here today. Looking at SQQQ, one of the things that I'd want to see, let's take a look at the 15-minute chart. I'd probably be looking for this under 28, right? If we plunge beneath 28, we might be set up for a snapback. So I might start stalking a price entry here around 28 on SQQQ. And remember, the market's got to show us that, right? It's got to start reversing, and we got to feel pretty good about that reversal. So we might not even get this today, but we'll see. Looking ahead at the movers, first one on the list here is going to be CTIC. This is getting bought out for $9.10 a share. There's no trade here. If you're a holder of it, congrats. Looks like you're getting an 84% premium here today, 85% premium. So awesome, but no new trades here on CTIC. Next one here is going to be CHSN. This is Chanson International Holdings. I have no idea what this does, full disclosure. Chanson International shares are trading higher for the company announced fiscal year 2022 financial results. So we got an earnings print here. We were as high as 316. We came back down to the VWAP. Sure looks like it's curling. Volume's good. What we need here for a potential trade is to continue to curl a move through the VWAP on volume. What I like about this play is that right now we're not actually extended from the VWAP. We're at a pretty good baseline, if you will, for a new trade. And frankly, if we start pushing from here, 267 to 316, that's pretty juicy for a scalp if it does in fact materialize. So this is another one that I'm watching. Upstart's on the list here today. I'll be honest. I think that this company is likely going to get replaced by AI. I think that this company is going to continue to see negative moves. If we take a look at the daily chart, this is one of those daily charts that's just absolutely horrific. 400, and we're currently at 19. I had somebody in the happy hour show last night said, I would not trade this with your money. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how negative the sentiment is on here on Upstart. They're trading higher because they had strong earnings. STSS, this is another micro cap here. This one actually might get going. We're in a pretty nice range here. If we trade up through this 131 and VWAP level, which is pretty much the exact same point. If you round up, I guess it would be 132, but for the most part, it's the same point. We trade through this on a nice volume pop. You can see what volume pops in the pre-market have done to this stock. It may do that exact same thing. We might even get more of an extension if we do get that. So 152 is going to be the high here that we really need to break to get wild. 131, the first benchmark on whether or not this is going to work. 114, your pre-market support area. Next is going to be TCRX. Oh, there goes Zunaid. I was almost done. TCRX, this is another stock I think might get going here. I really like that it's kind of right above the VWAP here. 465, the first hurdle we have to clear. 602, the intraday high from yesterday. You can see I've got a bunch of levels from previous days on here. That's these light blue lines. So if we break down, these should all act as support levels. Next, I've got MVST. This is Microvast Holdings. They were as high as 192, came back down to 162, really sitting at the VWAP. We'll see if that takes off. ALTO, this one I just a pop up to 256. We'll see. This really needs more volume. It just doesn't have enough right now. Open Door, this was as high as 243, came back in a little bit. This stock doesn't move a whole lot, but can be a pretty decent stock to trade. So we'll see if this sets up. I'm not trading the banks, although it's worth noting that PacWest is above yesterday's intraday high. And then of course Rivian, this had earnings, didn't it? They were, Rivian trading higher here, doing really the opposite of Lucid, really kind of holding this 1485 level. We'll see if we can pop above 1515, but Rivian looking pretty good, a little bit extended away from the VWAP. So, Zunaid, that's about all I got here this morning. You ready to roll?
Let's do it. All right. So just to kind of start things off, my Moomoo account is still where it was yesterday. Have not taken any trades on it. Again, we start off with 500. I've taken 2 trades on this one. One was an options contract with buying Meta puts and then SPY puts, and they were all day trades. Unfortunately, it has not worked out. I am interested in having a trade here today, but obviously when you're depleted by about 30%, it gets a little tricky, and small account challenges are not exactly my strong suit. But let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of different things here. This is kind of like our watch list. Obviously, NVIDIA is going to be one of the ones that we'll be watching here. You do have kind of like a low of 285 that we went ahead and put in and just kind of couldn't break it with force. Went down about 50 cents, but it's right back up. So interested to see this one pop above 290s and then maybe go ahead and make the highs here of about 290, 220s. Meta, we wanted this one to break 230. It has not been able to for the past few days. You can see a bounce right there and a bounce right there, and to the upside we go as well. So if you're looking to play long on Meta, I think a break of about 238 can be a good one. Let me go ahead and share. Let's go ahead and talk about Airbnb here. On Airbnb, you've got the pre-market lows of approximately 107.40, and then you've got support that was kind of held at around 112.50s on the after hours when they reported earnings. And you can see that little bit of a flush. I personally would have liked to go ahead and play this off of like a 110 bounce type situation, but we'll see if we can go ahead and get that opportunity or not. You can see a little bit of resistance kind of coming in right there. So we'll see if it's able to kind of get over this 110.50 level. But nonetheless, what I want to mainly look for is a pop above 112.50, or to the downside, I want to play it if it goes ahead and breaks 107.50 area down there. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome, Prosper. Matter of fact, you'll hear all of us talk about our losses and show it. So, you know, you'll see it. Ryan, I know whenever he pulls up his Moomoo, you'll see his account balance going up and down. You'll see mine with TradeStation right here as well. Excuse me, with TradingView here as well. Let me see. Zunaid, when you sell an option, do you join the ask? I usually only get into trades that have liquid options. That means the spread is very thin relative. And so I usually will, if the market changes and I'm looking to sell, I'll just go ahead and hit the market. It's fine with me. But if I'm looking to scale out, so say, for example, if I have 5 contracts, 3 of them I will go ahead and set a limit order on, and then the other 2 I will set different limit orders on as well. So I have 2 to 3 scale outs is how I do it. But I'm okay hitting markets because the options I trade are usually liquid. That means there's a lot of buyers there, so the spread isn't that bad. Let's go ahead and take a look at Tesla, since someone just asked in the chat. Yeah, Tesla obviously with a nice little pop. So if we go ahead and look, you know, a resistance that you might face is about 174.50. But of course, for now, you got to go ahead and get over 173.24 area right there. So we'll see if you're able to kind of pop above. You can maybe go ahead and get a chance to go ahead and play this at 172. That I think might be a better play to go ahead and get it closer to that. You can see you already kind of found a little bit of support as you tried to pop up there on that. So I would say the closer to 172, the better, or you can wait for a 173.21, which is a pre-market high pop. And then maybe you can go ahead and play the retest and see if you can get at least $1 on this one. Taking a look at PayPal. I would love for this one to go ahead and break 66. If we are going to head to the downside, I think PayPal is going to be a nice one to go ahead and play. And that's because if we go to the daily, you can see that you had 66 kind of right here as support, and we are kind of right there, but obviously we're above it. Now you do have a bit of a gap here if it really wants to fill that, but that's a long ways to go. But I really want to see a break of 66 because that would be the year-to-date lows, if not more. I believe it goes all the way back to 2022 and whatnot, but that's what I'm keeping an eye on PayPal. And let's see, AI, I wanted to play this one above 20. I did get a chance yesterday, but it flushed right down. So I'm actually going to, let me see if it's connected. Yes, it is. Okay. We're actually going to go ahead and see if we can get 200 shares of AI around $20.30. Stop loss for me would be about 1970, and we'll see if we can get 66 bucks out of it. So it'll be a 2-to-1 trade for me on this one, ticker AI. So that's the trade to kind of start things off there. Matter of fact, I'm going to move this up to about the 44 so that we can get a little bit more juice out of that. On the SPY, you can see the levels that I've got set, which was resistance a few days ago, which is 413.76. It's where you found support earlier. Let's see if we can stay there or not, but obviously it's kind of simple. A pop above 415 is where you want to be if you want to play this to the long side. And then if we go ahead and go to the daily, you can see this area right here is where we had resistance last time. So 417.50 right there. So that's why I have those 3 levels marked. If we get a pop above 415 and the retest, I'm interested in going long. Otherwise, I'm going to question what I do. But good luck. The market has started. And let's see how we go.
Yeah, and just Prosper saying, you know, you addressed this earlier, Zunaid. First time I've seen someone on the internet show their losses. I like it, he says. Prosper, you're in the right spot then. One of the things that the guys are doing here are small account challenge. And yeah, we're actually trading. So because of that, that means we take losses, and we tell you that. So it's all about process here. It's not about flashy Lambos and watches and all that cool stuff. I mean, maybe Zunaid's Aura ring counts, but other than that,
that's the only fanciest thing I've shown off on stream.
And that was practical. To be fair, Zunaid, that was super practical. That wasn't anything.
It wasn't like I'm a baller. It's like, no, my sleep sucks. I am taking a look at GSAT since Carmen mentioned it. Y'all know me. I love my dollars. So the whole number dollar there can be something to keep an eye on. But yeah, you mentioned it. There's not much there in terms of, and by the way, AI just went ahead and came into the $20. There's not much there in terms of volumes, Carmen. So you already know that, though. You mentioned it. PayPal, by the way, crossing below on the 66. So let's go ahead and actually do a 2-box so we can see what's what. But there's some in. This is a real live trade, right? Nothing, no paper things about it. Yeah, my Aura ring and my haircuts. Those are the flashiest things that I show off on stream.
Yo, the haircut's looking sharp and clean.
Thank you.
Call that flashy.
So
I
here's
just
what
think
we're
that's
doing.
sharp.
I'm trying to get like this little mustache thing going so I can keep the ladies even further away from me. But what I did yesterday is I bought a straight blade and I tried messing with that. And surprisingly, I don't look like Scarface. So you know what? We're learning. We're good.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
use a safety razor as well.
Yeah. So we're in AI 200 shares, looking to get $82 out of it. If we are wrong, we'll go ahead and lose approximately $66. Keeping an eye on our good old friend PayPal here as well. $66. I mentioned that I do expect a bit of a pop here, not just because of $66 level, but also you have the previous close there. So we had a little bit of a pop, but not as big as I would have expected, because I thought this would go to about 66.40s. I'm not right about that at the moment. We'll see how this candle closes. We're in the money by about 13 cents on our AI trade, but that's not enough. We want 44 cents.
Looking for a 28.49 break here on Unity to start getting long on Unity. Of course, I don't have trades in my Moomoo account, but I can show you guys the trade setup there. Unity looking interesting. I'm looking for prior resistance to act as support, 28.49, 28.50 area.
Airbnb. What's up?
Spy here got weak right before the open, but has since the actual market open, we've popped here. So, but I definitely think Spy at some point is going to reverse today. Really, the question is when. I wish I knew. If I did, I'd tell you. Still kind of stalking SQQQ, but that could be an all-day event. SQQQ currently at 28.30. I would really need to drop that into a 27 handle to be enticed into that. We'll see where we end up going. Rivian first move out of the gate was a pop and a back test of that pre-market high. Oh, I don't have my screen up. Sorry about that. Rivian's first move was a pop and then a back test of the pre-market high. Looks like it's trying to bounce, coming back in now. I want to wait for this to settle here. Still kind of nervous on Rivian despite the good quarter that they just posted. Some of the other small caps here all look like they're coming back in. Where's Knoll? EOSE popping above 2. Go ahead.
I did go ahead and add 100 shares of Airbnb at the previous close, and now I have 300 shares at an average price of $19.99. Stop loss for me is still $19.70.
Got into Unity there on that pullback. I told you guys I was looking for it. Got it. Let's go. 28.47s. Just took a little bit there. Perfect entry, I think. Honestly, I might have gotten one of the best entries of the day already. So looking to see if I could get this Unity right back up to 29.
Nice job sticking to the plan. By the way, CHSN, this is one of the stocks from the list, would be looking at this to trade if we can break right through here. 270 looks to be the spot. We're above VWAP. Volume looks good. As long as this holds up and we move through 270, possible trade here on CHSN. And of course, as soon as I started talking about it, we knifed. Buying that knife might actually be a better way to trade this. We'll see. No position in any of these yet. Reminder, I have no trades in the small account. And since I'm traveling tomorrow, I'm hesitant to take trades in the bigger account.
Can't blame you on that one, man.
Spy, by the way, trying to get, so if we take a look at the Spy here, you can see we had set out this level of 413.76. Why? Because if we go back, you can see resistance right there. And that's exactly where it bounces, where it comes to the open session. And that's where we get that pop. But again, no pop above 415. However, if we go to Apple and we take a look left, we had resistance drawn out at approximately the 173.87. Let me go and turn off my notification noises here. We're touching that 174 level. Now, where do we go from here? That's going to be the question. My AI trade is in the red. It's not working out. I'm about 7 cents, excuse me, I'm about 14 cents away from getting stopped out on that one. Let's go and take a look at PayPal. That is to the downside. So now I want this 15-minute candle to kind of close somewhere here and then come back to test the 65.80 area or the 66 area. So somewhere in here, matter of fact, let me use not that, but let me use this instead. Somewhere in here is where I want to go ahead and short. Wow, I really could use
added to Unity.
Right there is where I want to go ahead and short PayPal if I get a chance to do so.
All right, guys, I added the Unity on that pullback there. So I'm going to get a nice entry here, 28.49. Looking for this to move right back up through the VWAP, right back towards 29. This is really my top watch for the day, at least. Unity reports earnings after tonight. Won't hold it for the swing. This is day trade action for me. I mean, I could, but that doesn't make sense for me unless it went to let's say 35 today. And it was just an extreme win, and maybe I could hold the tiniest bit runner, but the idea is for the day trade today. We'll see if we're able to get this. I was looking for the nice pullback area. I got it. Now I want it to start taking off.
VS, by the way, Crow put eyeball emoji VS. This does look like it was back testing VWAP and testing this support, although we're breaking down now. By the way, CHSN, this was the move we were waiting for right through that 260. We'll see if we take out 270 here next. 269, the high print. I don't see much side. There it is, and through. And the little pullback through here. So watch that spot again. I think we go through that spot again. High print 275 now on CHSN.
All right, guys, let's see what we can get today. ARKK right back up. Looks good there for some trashy type of plays. You guys know I'm looking in the dumpsters, and we're starting to see some of those dumpsters moving. Twilio, another one that's bouncing back today and had kind of crappy earnings, but they're buying it up here at the open.
CHSN still showing some strength even after that knife. They bought it right back up here, pushing it back to 269. We'll see if we pop through 270 again here on CHSN. Buying the knives so far have worked every time we've bounced. We'll see if we can actually break the top of the range off now.
AI took a loss. I'm out there down $80.
Roku pulling back. That's another one that I'm looking at for an up move.
Through 270 again on CHSN and higher now. There we go. So that one's working there. Let's see if this actually gets some mo. Really need to have this volume stick eclipse the highest volume stick of the day. We'll see if we end up getting that. Definitely showing some strength here. 317 the high, and we're moving higher now. I think 3 on deck here, and then 317 CHSN.
Looking for pullbacks to 56 here for Roku to go ahead and get a starter. I can risk off the pre-market action of 55.50s. I'll show you guys that right now. I'm still looking at Unity. I still got that. So I'm also trying to get Roku here on the pullback through the 56s here. Let's see if we can get it. 56.13s is a support here. So I might start there. Just tapped it to 56.14. Looking for 56.13 or below here to start getting an entry on Roku. Come on, Roku, just a little bit lower. Test that 56 for me. I'll take a shot there.
CHSN, they brought in an offer at 285, some decent size. This would actually be great if it gets taken out, and we're right there. So that would actually be bullish on CHSN. They're hitting it, or they hit it briefly there. Let's see if they bring it back. Right up, bid move or offer moved down now to 281, but they took most of that. They took all of it now. Let's see if 285 is next. Let's see if the same seller is there.
All right, right now, like always, guys, if you guys are interested, check out the link below or scan the QR code to check out Moomoo. And of course, if you make your initial deposits, look for those free stocks, right? There's Roku already back there towards 56.35. So I'm looking at it and trying to get down there towards 56. Are we still getting the pullback on the SPY here?
Yes, we are. In fact, one of the things we're watching for here, Ms. Mitch, is are we gonna fill that gap?
Mm-hmm. Fill the gap. You guys think it's fill the gap already?
Well, I mean, like the move that we made up in the SPY here today. Are we going to retrace
where I think we're finding support is on prior resistance from Monday. We closed there at 412.74. So around that level, I don't see us breaking 412.67. So I'm looking for the pullback levels to find by the dippers here in the SPY. And I feel like it's a nice little pullback right now. If I look at the pullback and I think about it in 50%, 412.78 makes sense for me. We'll see if it holds there.
Gap fill would have to take us back down to 411. So maybe that is a little bit out of reach, but market reversing here. Worth noting that this is kind of what I was waiting for, but it happened a little too early and I didn't get to the price point that I had on SQQQ. I was looking for something under the 28s. We never got there. So no position yet. It's early in the day. Let's see what happens with the market. I'll tell you what, the big move up off the CPI print, if we fade this entire thing back, to me, that sets us up for lower tomorrow.
All right.
STSS moving through its VWAP now. Next spot here, 149. Look at this. What a clean bounce off 114, the pre-market low. I guess we did go lower by 3 cents, but it was real quick. Now we've reclaimed the VWAP, pushing back up towards the top end of the range that we've identified this morning. 149 would be the first peel point if you're in there. I think if we break 149, 150, we probably trade higher here on STSS.
I'm looking for pullbacks in SPXS right now. I'm looking for pullbacks in SPXS. So I couldn't get the Roku move already, and Unity's already going in the green for me. But look at SPXS. This is bear 3 times, starting to push towards the upside here. But I could look for a little pullback in this, and I could also look for the bull one, right? Why not look for the opposite, right? We'll see what happens there. SPXL. A way to try to play the upside in a little bit. And this looks like to me one that I might go after through the 73.50s towards the 73s here for a swing right back to the upside. Battling here, team, battling. SPXL. Let's see if I can get this one on the pullback here. We're down there towards the 40s. This is really retracing a significant amount. Where is the price action from yesterday? 73.29s acted as some support. So let's see if we can get in close to the 30 here. I'm looking at the 15-minute chart to see where we could find support. I see around the 40s and 30s being interesting towards me here on SPXL.
I'm going to go and try a quick little scalp play on PayPal here. Got in at 64.87, looking to sell at 65.27. Stop loss 64.68, risking 20 to make 40. We'll see if that ends up going in our direction or not. But yeah, SPY really just to the downside we go. Nice little move. Couldn't even try testing the 415. Came 50 cents short and to the downside. And now, Ryan, you said it might be ways away, but then, I mean, I know earlier you said we might close the gap. You might be right.
That's what I'm saying.
Point away.
And you know what? And Zunaid, you know what the unfortunate part about this is that I gave you my plan ahead of this, right? Said I was looking for SQQQ below 28. We never quite got there, about 20 cents away from that 28 level. This would be a great bounce to actually be in and play. Never came down to the buy entry. So even if I had a day trade to burn on this trade, I would not have gotten filled because I would have been waiting for a little bit lower. Let's see if this is the initial move, if it closes this entire gap, or if we take multiple attempts to close this gap. That would be the next thing up here.
In SPXL, team, just got a starter there, 73.36. I'm looking for the reversal back. Of course, you guys make your own decision, but this is what I'm going after. I had the planned attacks for it. Let's go.
I've got a limit order out to buy SPY at 411.03. We are approximately $1.10 away from that. So here you can see 411.03 is where I'm looking to buy it. Here's my PayPal trade that I'd mentioned. Looking to just get a cute little bounce if I can. Risking about $20 to make $40. We'll see if that comes to fruition or not. Take a look at PayPal though. Right off of that line of 174 area, you get that rejection, which was again resistance a couple of days ago. And to the downside, we go by almost $1. Matter of fact, it did reach $1 on that trade. Top is below $10. Not really caring for that one. Tesla back into VWAP area there. AI make it a little bit of a bounce of 20 cents. I do have an alert set back at $20 if it does wants to reach back over, and we can go ahead and try to play that one.
Man, that Roku came so close and just bounced right off of that. Man, look at that move on that one. I'm going to be a little bit upset that I missed that one by 1 penny. 1 penny, and I would have gotten an entry there at 56.13s. It's all the way back to 56.87 already. That was a nice one there. Pullback buy for Roku went to 56.14. I had 56.13 drawn out.
SPY literally bounced off 411.83. 411.83. The number that I had, I think, was 411.80. Let me check my other chart here for SPY.
All right, finally starting getting a little bounce there in SPXL. It already jumped there towards 73.63. Is going to look for the SPY to start finding bottom and start making its way right back. 9:45. Will we get the reversal right back to the upside? That's what I'm looking for.
411.80. 411 looks to be the actual close here. Let me go back. Let me get the exact round number here. Close on yesterday's candle. Open was 411.13. Close was 410.93. So 411. So not quite there, but pretty close. Pretty good move so
AI
far here.
AI is back at 20, so I'm waiting for at least a 5-minute candle to close above 20 on AI, but it's right back up there. And you've got PayPal, and now that 1-to-1 trade has been met, right? So risk reward wise, the 1-to-1 has been met, but we were looking for that 2-to-1, which we were 7 cents away from capturing. So either we get it or we don't. No harm, no foul.
All right, we'll see where we get the reversals on the market or not, right? I think this is an important outlook. I'd be looking at stocks that were strong before the move, pulled back, now close to VWAP to see if they take back VWAP. Like Upstart is definitely one of those. I'll be watching to see if it gets back above 19 and a move to 1950. I'm not taking that one, but I'm just keeping an eye on it.
13 here, good call. Right off the 200 SMA on the 1-minute chart, literally to the penny here. Let's see if this rolls over and back test this, or if we continue to bounce from here. That actually might set us up for another SQQQ trade.
Yeah, and if you're looking to go short the SPY, I think the closer you get it to 413, the better, because that's where VWAP is. So I think if you want to go short, you may want to go ahead and wait and see, hey, does this go ahead and test VWAP right there and then reject? Even if it doesn't and you're wrong and it goes against you, cool, you lost 50, 60 cents less than you would have otherwise on the trade versus just shorting here.
STSS trading up towards that 149 area. Remember, if they caught this off the bounce from the list here this morning, 149 definitely a target. Looks like we're trying to go there. We'll see if we end up getting there. Looking at some of these pennies. UFAB for you penny players, look like it's curling off the VWAP. That might give you something. And CHSN had a huge knife, but really kind of held some of these lows. So we'll see if it actually picks up from here. This not over yet, although no trade right now. VS, you guys were talking about this, had patent news completely breaking down now. I think that's over completely. Kano ripping to the highs here. Didn't have any angle on this pre-market. Looks like we took out the 114 high and went higher here on Kano.
PayPal new lows. 1-to-1 trade was met, but not the 2-to-1. So we might take an L here because it came all the way up here. We missed our 2-to-1 profit target by 7 cents. Now we might get knocked out there. AI back at 20, but again, we want at least a 5-minute candle close to take a shot at this one.
Staying patient, looking for the plans to either work or not. And I think that I have a nice plan to attack. We'll see if it works out or not. Unity coming back. Let's put a nice bar in. I really like Unity now. I'm looking for any pullbacks towards in the 50s to add more shares on my Unity trade. Just added a little bit more on Unity.
SPY going lower here, 13. I love the live commentary. There it goes. Just trying to test that support. That support did not hold. Lower we go. Look for this gap to fill now.
I added on the Unity, added on SPXL. Working my position in there. Still got 2 more ads that I can do for SPXL. I got one down at 73.16 now. Let's see if I can get one to 73. Seeing Unity come back, that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable about the trade. Building it up, man. Let's go.
You know, the interesting thing about SQQQ is on this move here, we came back to VWAP on SQQQ and bounced, but watching the SPY here is that's bringing it lower. I got to blow my nose. BRB.
Yep. Airbnb, Sal, let's go ahead and take a look.
Ooh.
So it made a lower high so far in this early 20-minute session.
Yeah, I missed that one. That's a miss for me. I'll look to see if I can come back to 110. That's where I can come in on it, but definitely a miss on me on Airbnb.
Yeah, I think the closer you get it to 111s, the better. Obviously, 110 wouldn't be bad either. That's near the lows.
On SPXL, which is the bull 3-time leverage, I'm actually average at 73.29. Looking to see if we can make a move back through 73.50 And that's where I can add for the plus side move, but it needs to start turning around first.
I'm gonna go ahead and take 100 shares of AI here. Stop loss for me is going to be approximately 1979. I'm gonna look to take some gains at about 2040s just to start things off. 15-minute close would give me a little bit more confidence on it.
412 recovery is what I'm looking for now on the SPY. Let's see if we can get it now.
Who knows if this is going to play out or like this or not, but just something to point out as it's happening. So you had this kind of like support like Ryan was talking about, right? With the EMAs and everything. We crack it, we come back and test it. Now, do we just flush to close the gap or do we come all the way back up is going to be the question. But it's just interesting, the concept of previous support now being resistance. Again, we'll see if it actually ends up coming to fruition or not. But instead of just talking about it in hindsight, wanted to kind of point it out as it is happening. TRVN. So apparently someone's saying good news. Let's see. TRVN.
Community testing lows now. We'll see if some buyers step in there.
Sorry about that, fellas.
It's all good. What's the good news on TRVN? Let us know, chat.
I'll check it out for you, Zunaid.
Appreciate you. And then we also have a little bit of movement there. It's right near VWAP, so
950. So 2 minutes ago, Trivana has been granted EU patent number, blah, 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 blah. I'm not reading all those numbers in bullet.
I don't care about it anyway. Yeah.
No, you're good,
Delta
dude.
opioid receptor modulating compounds for treating pain, migraines, headaches, depression, Parkinson's, PTSD, anxiety, and overactive bladder. That is a lot of things. Okay, so that is the news there. Doesn't really look like it's having much of an effect on the stock. We're kind of flat.
Yeah, if anyone were to get into this one, I'd say your stop loss is below 166. Because you'd break the short-term trend. You'd also be below VWAP.
All right,
And
just
Tyson
hanging
continuing
on.
to sell off your 48 handle now on Tyson.
Yeah,
I like
I mean,
that in the low 40s, by the way.
yeah, they're going to go after probably some defensive names today. That's for sure.
Smash those pumpkins, Zunaid.
Pumpkins?
Pumpkin?
I think that was a reference to the band. I thought maybe you quoted some lyrics or something.
No, I'm not that cultured.
Wow, we finally have an opioid bladder, whatever it is.
1979. Got it. You know, there's this one song, and this is not going to make sense for the next 30 seconds. There's this one song that an ex of mine way back when I was in middle school had given me, and I have no idea what it is. But I want to email her because I haven't talked to her in like 10 years. I want to email her and be like, hey, what's that one song you gave me? But she's like married now, so that could be kind of weird. But
I mean, that would be an odd text. Was it a Cranberry song?
Oh, I can't text her. She has my number blocked. It would be an email.
That's my number. What did you do?
I was a teenage boy. I mean, you know.
I was a teenage boy. Okay, that's all you needed to say.
Oh man.
All right,
I don't even know the lyrics
right now.
I don't even know the lyrics.
SPY on the 5 minute, putting in a double bottom there and seeing if the double bottom's going to hold 41150s.
CHSN Cal saying, please go. Looks like this is breaking down here. So real quick, what we had here is we were unable to get to the pre-market high. When we lost the VWAP, we traded down to this support area. We've since lost that. So we're actually now, we're kind of in a gappy area. Next spot here looks to be 2 on the support here for CHSN. So this one not working out. If you aren't blocked, you aren't trying. Wow. Let's go.
Oh man.
UAFB, you said was halting, Crow? Oh, the penny stock. Oh, they didn't hold it there. So for all you penny players, what a move off the VWAP this was.
Oh man. Imagine if I just called her live here after 10 years. That'd be insane.
I mean, insane. We might get all types of like fines for the shit that gets said.
I don't even know if she'd pick up. I would pick up if I was in that position and be like, took you 10 years to realize I was the one, but I don't think
Isn't it
she has that type
that
of
got away or something?
No, she
Okay.
wasn't. No, this was just a wonderful human being. That's all.
Okay.
Thankfully, I've never had a crazy ex. Very blessed. Knock on wood.
I was just gonna say you better knock on wood because you're in trouble now.
Maybe she's not the ex, she's the one.
I mean, if she is, it ain't for me. At this point, she might have a kid and it ain't mine, so I don't know.
All right, there's a little bit of a bounce there now in the SPY. I'm going to look for the buyers as Carmen starts stepping in here. XPXL, I'm going to add to this now as we're going back through my entry, 73.29. I like this. If I can add right here on a little pullback, let's see if I can get it. All right, funny. Just got a little bit more there on XPXL. So I'm going to start looking for that to come back to the VWAP, start looking for SPY to come back to the VWAP. We'll see if we get it. 412 starting to show up on the SPY. Yeah, we're trying to get a dip buy on SPY at 411.03, but it's bounced at the 50 mark. AI, though, we are in with 100 shares, so we are looking to play that to the upside. What you got?
I was just going to say that 411.50. I got the 500 bar. This purple line is the 500 bar moving average. I call this, by the way, the Joe moving average because 13 here. The Joe. 13, his name is Joe. And he uses this moving average all of the time. And I'll tell you this, he was the one that turned me on to this. It is so incredible how many stocks actually find support at this moving average. And on the most of the time, it's the daily chart where it's really sticky. But this working here on the minute chart. So shout out to 13 for bringing us some awesome stuff. Been using this since he mentioned it. This was over a year ago now, too. It's been a while, hasn't it? Twilio, you guys were talking about Twilio.
Ooh, a nice little move to the upside, looking to break the highs.
And that was also something that got flushed before the open.
Yeah, so it looks like we're
the Airbnb move.
Let's check in on Airbnb, shall we? Airbnb still kind of within that range. I kind of want to take a shot at it, but
yeah, I already missed it, I feel like, at least for me. So I'm leaving it alone. There's a nice move in XPXL as we start going back to the upside here. Unity also going back to the upside. Average for Unity is 28.51. I'm still in that. I'm looking for the move now. There's XPXL starting to make a nice little push. 73.50s. We're looking good. At least I'm looking good. I'll see if it can get there to the VWAP 73.85. That's going to be first profit, and then look for it to go back to 74.50.
We talked about Disney having support at 102. That's where it bounces from for about 50 cents. We'll see if it gets a bit of a better move. There's AI still above 20. Might go ahead and grab some more shares if this can stay above 20 here with about a minute 50 left to go in the 15-minute candle. Where's PayPal, by the way? Just a downside move. Didn't even give you a chance to go and short it off of the 66 on a retest. Maybe if you wanted to, you could get a chance here if it tests VWAP around 65.20-ish.
All right, guys, over 500 of you guys out there. Smash it up, team. Smash it up. All right, will the SPY get back there? Now the SPY is at 412.40s. VWAP is around 412.79. Looking to see if we can actually really start getting going here as we got a nice little hourly pullback, right? Big hourly pullback. Now we're getting towards that 10 a.m. candle. I'm going to look for a candle to come back towards these highs.
Carvana had great earnings a few days ago, so it's kind of just a continuation of that move, I would say. Then, of course, you have folks that love to quote-unquote meme it, but it did have earnings you can see here on Thursday, May 4th, to the upside. I mean, it's kind of continuing that. You had a nice little base around 871, and then we've just been kind of grinding up and up and up. I wanted to get into Carvana at 10, but unfortunately, you see this little second bar at 11:30 at the 8th. Could not give me a proper retest of $10, so I could not get into the stock.
We got new data, by the way, on Carvana, new short interest data. We checked this, I think it was last week, maybe even the week before, and the data that we had was stale. Remember, in Benzinga Pro, we don't estimate short interest value. We give you the actual values when they're made available. So effective today, the new percent float of short, 69.67% with 2.2 days to cover. So Mitch just crushed something. Mitch, update us.
I just took some cash there. I talked about XPXL going to the VWAP right there, 80s. I'll take the cash there, 73.80s from 73.30. What is that? Nice 53-cent win there. I'll take it. Not bad at all. And we only went down there towards a low of 73.10. So even at max risk, I was only down about 20 cents. Not a bad little reward on the first half. Now I can let this rest of the half just completely work. We'll see what happens. Let's go, baby. XPXL. When do you guys see me play this? Never.
All right, I think I'm going to take a shot at something here, and I hope I'm doing it right. Give me a sec.
Right back into the VWAP.
Is it a Moomoo trade?
Yeah, I'm about to share.
Oh,
well, so it could be a quick.
We need a moo alert.
Oh, that would be so good for the soundboard. A moo alert. What are we doing? I might have that live by Tuesday, Mitch.
I'll have that live in 10 seconds.
I wanted to purchase $20 calls that expired this week on ticker AI for 75 cents. So it's right at 75 cents. And the reason that I went ahead and took this trade, let me go ahead and see if I can watch list and see if we can find some AI. So there's the actual trade itself of now it's 80 cents. So yes, don't tell me I never give out winners. Where is how can I add AI? There we go. All right, so you can see $20 is where I wanted it. We popped up above $20, and now it's making a move to the upside. I would love for this one. So I only have one contract. If I had two, I would have scaled out at 20, 50. That's what would be my first scale out. But I think I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this one till about $21, give or take. Already we are in the trade on the equity side, which I'll show y'all here. But we are in Moomoo. We got the $20 calls expiring this week at 75 cents. Currently, it's trading at about 78.80 cents. I'll update y'all there, but let's go ahead and head to. There you go. There you go, my man. Way to make it happen.
Mitch didn't even wait till next week. He's just out here getting it done.
Way to make it happen.
The only way I know. The only way I know.
So $200 is what we've got on the AI trade. Purchase it at 20.08 at an average. Looking to sell out half of it at 20.75, and the remaining we'll see if we can get it out at $21.
Unity making moves. Let's go, Unity making moves. Let's
Air
go.
down, Jacob Bear saying we need more cowbell, folks. Love it.
Hell yeah, dude. I could say today, it's a party. It's a party. It's a party. Hey, let's go. I'm ready to get it after it. Waited for the pullback, looked for it, buy the rips, sell the dips, baby. We'll see. I'm buying the dip. I'll tell you that much. We're getting it up there. Unity, XPXL, doing well to 74 now. Can I get it back to the opening price? Opening price, 74.37. Next profit is going to be there. I'll take another half off there and just leave the rest as a little bit of a swing runner.
I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get a short on PayPal at 65.21. Stop loss for me is going to be approximately 65.56. Looking to take gains at 64.72. Matter of fact, I might end up, let me go and move this puppy down a little bit so it can be a test of the lows. If I can go ahead and get this one short on that. Here's AI moving to the upside. We like that. Now AI has made session highs. Can we stay that way and test pre-market highs? That's going to be the big question for us. The options contract are now worth 80 cents. So that's a nice little move, but not enough for me to sell.
Unity.
Real quick, let me just address Hassad's question here real quick. Ryan, can you give some info on the high beta squawk? So what you're asking for, we have a new standalone squawk product that can also be accessed in Pro, and you get a bit of a discount if you're a Pro subscriber. The high beta squawk, the way it differs from Charlie, the equity squawk, Charlie, the institution of squawk, he focuses on a smaller universe so that he can deliver timely calls on things that are likely to move big. Examples would be like the Southwest Airlines grounding, Tucker Carlson leaving Fox. We had an AMD call in there that spiked it a number of points. I think there was an Airbnb call in there. So the high beta squawk is going to be more of a focus on quality over quantity, and it's going to try and get you those moves as early as possible in the pop. That's the trade-off. Charlie's going to cover more things, but the high beta squawk is going to try and get you really, really crispy entries very, very quickly. So I turned it on here just to kind of give you guys a preview. Let me know if you guys hear it. I don't know if I'm sharing my browser sound correctly. So but there you go, Saad.
Appreciate the insight.
What's that, Zunaid?
No, I just appreciate the insight.
Yep.
By the way, you've got Tesla moving here in a second. I'll take a look, but you've also got AI. Come on, baby. Let's go ahead and take us out at 2045. Where was Tesla? There's Tesla. Tesla hitting that resistance of 174.45, which we had marked because of this resistance area right there. What's it gonna do? There we go. Come on, 6 more cents. Just a little pop. Just a little pop.
All right, there's the SPY working its way back, baby. Nice called reversal off the 411.50s there. So I'm just riding the trend. Look at XPXL. Look at Unity Go, baby. Almost in my first profit there in Unity. As we get closer to 29, I want to take some off there, pay myself, and leave the rest of it working. 28.51 average for Unity.
I want to test a theory here. So you can see SPY on my chart. We had this level that was holding on as support. Now you can see it's already acting as resistance. What I'm interested in seeing, and I want to put money where my mouth is, at least 40 bucks of it, is if this goes ahead and tests VWAP before it comes back again to knock out 413.76 to the upside. So I'm short 100 shares just to kind of test my theory and see if that's actually going to do it or not. And I like to have a little skin in the game when I kind of test these things out. So we'll see if that ends up working out for a quick little $40 straight to the upside or downside. Currently, we are 11 cents in the money. And our AI trade is approximately 4 cents away from giving us some gains, 3 cents away from getting us some gains, to the point where I probably will just do this, knock it out. There's our 100 shares. We are good to go. Now we have 100 remaining, which we will go ahead and look to take out at approximately the 2092s, or I'm going to go ahead and get stopped out, I would say, right there. So risking now about 20 bucks to see if we can make an additional 80. We already went ahead and locked in gains on our first target.
And that PTPI, honestly, if I had the Moomoo account, I might be going after it too, but I'm just going to stay off for the trades that are already really working for me. But it does look interesting for me on a day like today.
PTPI has given us multiple opportunities recently. That's for sure.
There's 90s starting to show up there for Unity here. So you know what? I could be a little picky for 29. I'm going to take it right now. Just took some profit there on Unity. Took profits on SPXL. So from here on out, I'm gravy, baby. Let's go.
Speaking of gravy, Jay Rice talking about Crispr. We talked about this yesterday. Jay, I believe you took profits yesterday. This is up another 5% here today. This was a monster call, Jay. You had this in the low 40s, if I'm not mistaken. You gave it to us here in the show. Crispr really running. How's Eat It doing? That will be the another one that I'd want to look into. Eat It not outperforming, only up about 1.3% here. But wow, what a move with that Crispr.
Yeah, it's one of those days. I said it, guys. It's a lot of action out there, a lot of action. So let's get after it. I'm really enjoying this. I'm coming after it. I'm definitely putting some trades out there. And it seems like it's one of those days where I want to turn it up, right? It's time to duel, baby. Let's get after it, team.
All gas, no brakes for Mitch today.
You know it. Well, one thing was the planned attack. Look for the pullback at the bell, and let's get after it. It's time, brother.
It's time to
Nice.
Remember those days, Zunaid?
I just love how you get into stuff. That's my favorite.
I was a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan. I'm not going to lie.
I don't even know what that is. I'm so old.
How do y'all check on what the heck just got filled?
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yu-Gi-Oh, baby.
Sweet. So here you go. Theory we talked about, right? Is it going to come back to test closer to VWAP before it goes and pops above? It worked out. Nice little $40 for us in the pocket, as it did go ahead and come back to test VWAP. Now, if we go ahead and look at the micros here, you can see that we're currently trading at about 41.55 on the micro E-mini S&P index futures as Disney's crossing and breaking 102, which we'll take a look at here. If you want to get long, matter of fact, again, we'll put money where my mouth is. If we can go ahead and switch. Do that. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and buy one micro E-mini S&P 500 index future contract here at 41.5075. Stop loss for me will be about right there. Here, actually, matter of fact, let's do this. Let's just kind of make our life easy. We'll just risk about $30 on each side. And the reason is because you've got VWAP here, and you've also got the whole number of 4150. So I feel like both of those things working in my favor. I could go ahead and get a nice little fill for a bounce. If it doesn't get through there, that's cool. No harm, no foul. We're totally good on it. But I want to talk about Disney here in a second. And Disney, this is the 102 level that we were kind of paying attention to. You saw you had a little bit of a bounce from right there, that you got a whole 50-cent move. Now, if the market moves up, that's not going to help our Disney short, but the Disney short could work out because it is relatively weak to the market, as Disney's down about 0.15%, where the market is up 0.5%.
Disney slated to report earnings after the close today. Zunaid, I'm assuming that's a day trade and you're going to close it prior to that.
Oh,
print?
yeah. Listen, I like no stress in my
man.
life. The white hair doesn't suit me well. I will absolutely close every. Matter of fact, all my accounts, I can't remember the last time I swung trade anything, but yeah, all of my accounts, whether it's Moomoo or anything else, they are gone, done. By the way, Airbnb, nice little pop to the upside. I'm liking what I see here. I wanted to get in this one around VWAP, but I was a little too scared, but you get a nice little pop. Now it's looking to make days highs. And we'll see if it gets a chance to do so. Right exactly there is where it gets a little bit of a stop.
I feel bad, man. I'm not going to touch Disney, but Netflix going higher, I feel like jumping on the Disney bandwagon to the upside. It's because Netflix is going higher here. Netflix looks really nice there on that nice little push. But maybe that just might be Netflix's move today. I know I've been looking for Netflix to make a move here. Nice little push higher there now. Look at the daily chart on Netflix. That looks good. And usually when I've seen Netflix perform good, well, Disney usually has a tendency of following it. So I'm seeing this go a little bit higher today. I feel like Netflix could keep running today. I'll look for pullbacks at around 335, but I kind of like Disney here around the 102 level. But hey, to each his own, right?
SQQQ trying to bounce off the 2812 level here. I do want to see this in the 27 handle. That would make me enticed to buy this. We'll see if we end up getting that. Not getting it yet. Oh, I do have it on that chart. I left it on that chart.
I got you.
I left it on that chart so that I'd be prepared for it. So I don't have an order out. Mitch talks about this a lot. I'm not actually putting an order out. I'm not ready to buy, but what I do want to see is this in a 27 handle. We'll see if we stay in there. Maybe we bounce from there. Market looking a little heavy. I'll keep my eye on this. I'll update you if I get a position. Nothing yet as of right now, though. Carvana, by the way, hit new highs there. And one more thing here, Zunaid, before I kick it back to you. STSS, we did actually take out that 149 here. So it looks like it took two waves to get it, but we took it out here. New high going to be 158. We'll see if this sets up again. Sorry, Z.
You've got Meta here that went ahead and popped a little bit to the upside. Now holding above VWAP, 235.59 is where I'm in with 100 shares. Are going to take gains at approximately 236.43. And you can also see here, it's a 1-to-1 trade. You can also see you got a nice volume pop on this 10-minute candle, and it went ahead and stayed above VWAP as well. So is it going to work out? I don't know. But these are the reasons that I went ahead and got into that trade. One thing that might be concerning for me is that I wanted to be below the 50-cent area, which is why I got it profits to be taken at 43, which is right before session high. So we should be good on that. By the way, Disney 102 level holding once again as it's testing VWAP. You know what? Speaking of VWAP, I had a short that I wanted around PayPal, and it unfortunately did not go ahead and fill me. So I'm going to go ahead and close this trade out, as that one did not work out. AI is still $20 above, perfectly doing okay there. Let's see what's going on with Airbnb as that one continues to pop. Now that one's making new highs. Kind of based around VWAP for quite a bit, and then to the upside we went, as SPY is still near VWAP, nothing there. And I think I had one more. Yeah, and I've got a trade here on the micro E-mini S&P 500 index futures, which has not been activated just yet.
Man, what a move. And one of the ones that was my top watch today, I missed it. Snow. Look at that one. Nice little move higher there, up towards 171.40. VWAP bounce was pretty here. I'm not gonna lie, I would have gone after it. My other VWAP, my TC was like right on the bottom of that VWAP, 167.50s. It went right into that area 3 times, reversal. The perfect sign here for me on a nice little up move there. So a little bit mad that I missed that snow move because it was a nice one. Snow, baby. And that's why I was looking at it for the Pan W continuation. Look at Pan W. Oh my God, man. This is going to be one of those that I'm like, come on, Mitch, you're better than that. Look at that.
Pan W is going to be one of those stocks that I'm going to look back and say, Ryan, you should have just bought some of this, even if it was only like 20 shares back in 2015 and just held it.
Yeah, and this is all really based off of ZS, right? Zscaler gave good news, and look how they're reacting today, right? So they give preliminary outlook into cybersecurity before they gave you a look underneath the hood before anybody. So what happens? They just start buying up Pan W, they buy up CrowdStrike, they buy up names in the cybersecurity space. I'd even maybe look at a Sentinel one. I never look at that one. Look how that one's even up a little bit today. That one is really more the laggard of the group. But CrowdStrike, I definitely take a look at. Look at CrowdStrike now coming back above VWAP. And so Pan W definitely leading here. Nice little move higher. Snow was definitely a nice daily chart to look for. And nice little move continuation there. All right, man. It's one of those days where now I'm just looking at the SPY, right? And I'm like, well, SPY, if you want to hold VWAP here and come back towards the open, I won't be mad at you, man. You'll just keep riding my trades higher and higher. So there's the SPY. You guys can see the VWAP right underneath it. I'm going to look for a little VWAP bounce and move right back towards the opening price. There's the VWAP bounce right now, coming back towards 413.30s. Let's see if we take off towards 414. And the buyers really step in. Volume's stepping up here too, which is something that I want to see, right? Pull back volume by the VWAP, start getting me some more volume here. Let's see if we go back to 412s. That would be the opposite outlook, right? If you're looking for down move, you want to see this take out 412 again. We'll see what happens on the day.
SQQQ sure feels heavy, like it wants to go lower right here, but it is definitely finding that support. Let me zoom in on this here. There we go. There we go. So this is what I'm talking about. It looks like it wants to give this up and go lower, which would be great. And looking at the NASDAQ, it does look kind of toppy here. It looks like an intraday double top on the NASDAQ. So it might be good here in SQQQ. With it being so early and with me having no emergency out with a day trade, probably want to wait a little bit longer into this before I end up taking it for a potential swing.
Looking for XPXL to do also a VWAP bounce. That's the way I'm playing about it, but it's the same look as the SPY.
Airbnb continues to make new highs. That one went ahead and made a high of approximately 114.50s. And then you've also got AI looking to break through the 2050s. Now, unfortunately, with my meta trade, that one's underwater. Could get stopped out here in about 10 cents, 3 cents. And is it going to stop me out?
Sabrina saying, Ryan, oh, but we don't need this up here. Sorry, Zunaid. Sabrina saying, Ryan, I got Pan W at 187, up 7%, probably selling it in my trade account, keeping a bit in my long-term. Zunaid, what just filled for you?
I just went and got out of meta. That unfortunately took a loss as that one went downside. So it took a loss on that. As you can see, the market is now below VWAP, and there's Disney. So if the market's going to go down, I'm going to look at stocks that I wanted to be short, and Disney's going to be one of them. So we'll pay attention to this stock, see how it's going to flow things out. Give it about a minute for this candle to close.
Getting a retrace here in Unity. I am going to even let it test my break even. I'm going to let it test 10 cents lower, which would lose me like very, very small amount. I've made more than that already on the profit side. So I'm willing to give it a little bit of room, but don't want to see it break through the 40.
And boy, oh boy, look at SQQQ running off of this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm listening to a squawk. Did you guys hear that squawk by chance?
No, I did not.
Okay, so
there's a 412 break too that we were just talking about for the kind of the bearish outlook there. You just got it. You got your attempt there. So let's see if they wash out the lows of 411.50s.
SQQQ, huge move off the bottom here. Maybe I should have bought that one. Didn't get to my price point yet again. I seem to be getting Zunaided here. I have an idea of where I want to get it, but the stack just goes within 10 cents of it or so. So I'm going to be patient here. I'm not going to cause destruction to my account. I just don't need to do that.
What was the squawk news that you wanted to tell us?
I couldn't hear the end of it. It was something about JPM.
Okay.
I'll get it for you. Hang on a sec.
All right, XPXL, just keeping an eye on it right now. I could get into a little bit of a slight red situation here, so I just got to determine, am I going to hold it towards lows or let it go here? Just keeping a close eye on it. See if we can get a huge bounce right back to the VWAP. Could add here, but I feel like that's opening up more risk than I intend, right? And so I've taken half profits, don't want to add and then give up the profits, right? So worst comes to worst, I can get out here for a small loss and still have profits on the day. That's always what matters, right? We're here to make money, baby.
All right, come on, Disney. Come on,
There's
Disney.
the 412 pop there, right back. I'll show you guys Unity a little bit there. Popping back to the VWAP. That looks good there for me. At least that's a pop back to VWAP. XPXL bouncing off the 73.30 area. Now back to the 73.50 area. Let's see if this can make its way back to VWAP and the SPY make its way back to VWAP.
All right, I'm short Disney at 101.98. What's up?
By the way, real quick. So first of all, Assad, excuse me, was asking earlier about the high beta squawk. The other thing that you get with the high beta squawk is he actually has his own chat room, which actually serves as transcription. I know that this is something that people have been asking for. So Zunaid, that squawk that you asked me about, JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says there is a higher chance of mistake on the debt limit that comes from punch bowl. That's what the squawk was. I heard JPM in debt and I couldn't figure out the rest of it, but here it is. UFAB, by the way, this was one of the stocks that we had. This is one of the stocks that we had recently been talking about. Oh, I just screwed everything up. All right, let me work on fixing this. Hang on a sec. That was so stupid. That was so stupid.
Hey, it happens to the best of us, man.
When and also, so all right, I already told y'all I was on the trade of Disney on a couple of different places. So I'm short Disney here on TradingView, as you can see at 101. What is this? 101.90s, and I'm looking to get short again on 101.98. But what I've also done is I've also gone ahead and purchased the 101 puts on Disney that expired this week at an average price of 250. So I'm good on that as well. And then we've still got our AI trade that's still looking to make higher highs if it can go ahead and break. So look, you can see always looking left, right? Pre-market highs, we knew that was going to be resistance, which is why we tried to get out before then when we did. But now we want to see a pop above this and see if we can make our march towards 21 or not. So that's the next area of resistance that we have. Come on, Disney.
All right, guys. So I set a stop there for SPXL here at 73.14, which is 1 penny up from the lows. And so from this point on, I can just literally let it work. Regardless, I'll be in the green on both positions here. So instead of me trying to make too many decisions here, I'm trying to go ahead and make it more objective, already deciding what the trade's going to be if I do get stopped out.
Guys, how about Celsius? Cell H is
dude. I talked about this, Ryan, yesterday before the open. I'm so upset, man. I missed that energy drink takeoff. And this was also based off of Monster. Let's just be honest. They saw Monster take off. They were like, yeah, let's go after Celsius.
I mean, I've actually had this. I like this a lot more than Monster. It doesn't make me jittery at all. This is up almost 20% here today, over 20 points to the upside after earnings.
Monsters make you jittery? I think monsters are weak, dude.
Monsters are weak with all types of stuff.
It's just too much artificial crap in there, though.
Yeah,
I'd rather have a bang.
I don't like it either.
I'd rather have a bang than a monster. I don't know about you. I'd rather have a bang. Zunaid's like, I don't know any of those life.
If Zunaid ever makes it to the office, he will learn very quickly what Bang energy drinks are.
Well, I think Michael pops them like it's water. So
yeah, Michael kind of lives off of it. He has like a little life bar that walks with him, and if it gets to a certain red, he just has to take another one. You know.
Yep.
Mitch playing too many video games. It seems.
You're not lying. You're not lying.
Don't worry, Luke smashes two of them at one time. So.
Corey says monsters are weak compared to what? Meth? That's funny. I'd rather have a coffee too, Bruce. I'm working on 2 here this morning already.
A green machine, baby. Green machine. I only use that stuff when I need it. That's when I feel like it's okay. You know what I mean? If you really need it and you need a bust through the day, you need to complete your mission. Well, sometimes you might need a little booster. All right. I do love that transcript from the squawk, Ryan.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yep. It's absolutely awesome.
Because you know me. I'll be honest, guys. I have too much going on and I'm taking care of too many things to have something in my ear. But can I read something and definitely enjoy that? Yeah. Hell yeah. And I already opened it up.
And see, that's great. For me, I got too many things going on to read. So having an audio works out. So you've got a little bit of taste for everybody.
Right? That's what it's about. That's what it's all about, right? Because the truth is some people are going to want it. Some people aren't. But if you can give me an ability to have still an advantage because I could read it, I'm all for it, man. Because I love the idea of squawk, but the truth is that I'm so live all the time that literally I lose my crap when I have too many things buzzing off in my ears.
Honestly, when you're presenting, the squawk is tough. If you're just a trader at home and you're not like on like a live show or something like that, it's great. But when you're doing what you do, Mitch, I admit it's tough. I experimented for a while putting an earbud in. Yeah. What I found that would do is that if you guys were talking and I was getting a squawk at the same time, I couldn't hear both. Now I'm trying it on the actual platform itself. We'll see.
Yeah, that's how it is, man. SPY working its way back here. It did do a quick dip, but right back, right? And I think what we need to watch, do we wash out 412 again? But we are starting to work our way back. I'm not opening new positions at this moment because I feel like the SPY is in an indecision moment if it wants to come back or not. So right now it's kind of wait and see and find out. All right. Like always, guys, you guys can check out Moomoo. You guys see us using it here. We aren't going to be doing too many of our small account challenge right now, but you guys can hit that QR code right on the screen right now. Or if you'd like always, we talked about this new deal that they got for Benzinga Pro users where you're going to get up to 20 free stocks. Of course, you got to deposit up to over that 1,000, but even just the 100 could get you up to what? There you guys see it, 9-10 stocks. But just depositing up to $100. I'll throw up the link, guys. Smash it up. Let's keep it going. Let's see what we get into something else today. But right now, I feel like it's just wait and see. We'll find out if it goes into the green.
All right, Disney at 101.80s. Looking to break that one. We're already in the money by about 13 cents, but obviously we want more. We're looking for about 50 cents on it. AI looking to pop the new highs if we can get it. What's going to be troubling is if SPY gets over VWAP, that obviously not help my Disney short, but this is kind of like what I've got on the SPY as it's looking to go ahead and make a move to the upside.
All right, we'll see what else is going. AMD going for the hundo? Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I missed that 90 buy. Remember earlier I talked about that 90 buy, like, on AMD, I was like, yo, it was at 90.40s, and I was like, yo, this pullback to 90 seems like a really good level for AMD. Holy crap, that would have been a nice one. Almost to 100 already from that, and it's been a takeoff since then. You guys could see that on the hourly chart. From that 90s, we got just above 90, pulled back there, and it gave you a really nice opportunity that day as we just have pushed completely higher since then. That day we pushed to 96. Now we're at 99. Big move there, AMD. That's why I think we can move higher because these stocks are going to drive us, man. These 5 stocks, like look at NVIDIA going higher today, right? These are the stocks that I think can drive us higher. Apple, right? Let's see if Apple goes higher today. If Apple wants higher, I think the market wants higher. So I'm going to be watching Apple too. Right now, it's around kind of the middle of the point in the day. Let's see if it takes off to the upside. I'll keep that one on watch as a nice indicator if we want back to the upside.
Here's the downside. What's up?
Decent potential small cap here. HNST, we're having a decent day today. We're up 13.5%. But if I look at the 15-minute chart, you can actually see that this is curling back towards a gap area. 216, and we're probably in that gap. That would fill at 281 on this this small cap here, HNST. They just reported earnings, so that's out of the way. The Honest Company. I don't think I've ever traded this before.
Be
Raised
honest,
guidance,
man.
though. Raised guidance.
Can I make butter chicken? No, but I could warm it up in the microwave, the one that I get from Trader Joe's.
Right? I'm surprised, Nate. How are you not making it from the scratch, man? Come on. I thought I was going to get the fire recipe, dude. Come on.
No. Yeah, the fire recipe is buy from Trader Joe's, 5-minute warm it up, go ahead and add some other stuff if you'd like, and that's it.
To tell you the truth, I'm on my way.
Yeah,
I'm on my way.
There you go. There you go.
The Indian restaurant by me, I have on speed dial just in case, just FYI.
Nice. By the way, I did go ahead and try a short on AMD. Our short on Disney's working out, but again, it needs to get to lock in our gains. But I did go ahead and short AMD at 99.94. I'm looking for a move right back to about 99.56 if I can go ahead and get it.
I'm looking for the 29 breakout here for Unity. We're at 28.98. Let's see if we can go back to the upside. As I'm starting to see some pickup out there. A little part of me feels like adding to SPXL, but I'm not going to do it, team.
Smoked tuna. Geez, easy for me to say. What is a Jeremy stock? I don't think I'm familiar with that. Is that a FinTwit guy?
Should I? Oof, Apple, man. Come on, man. You're too quick for me sometimes, Apple. I was about to get you, dude. I was thinking about taking 173.25s there, but it's already starting to push there. And I could see the bottoming was around 173. So I got to risk about 25 cents here if I want to jump into Apple. Looks interesting for me because it's just holding the VWAP. Let's see if it goes right back to the upside. Amazon's another one that I'm looking for, but it's already way too high for me on the day. It went up there to 110, 109s. The reason I want Amazon is because I think Shop's going to continue that move. Look at Shop, another day higher to 65.46. Man, what a move! All right,
our AMD trade, YouTuber, okay.
Our AMD trade worked out as it did go ahead and reject the 100 area, came down to about the 60s. We went ahead and closed it right here at the 56 level. So quick little $40 for us on that one. Coming back to Disney, nice that did make a new low, but kind of coming right back up. We needed to obviously go and continue dropping here to come to the 101.53s.
Unity cracked 29 for just a second, back to 28.90s here. SPY starting to work its way back up. Didn't break the 412 on the recent action. I think that's very important. Now you're starting to work your way back. Let's see if it takes off through 413 on upside. That's what I'm looking for. Of course, I'm in the bullish tune today, so you guys choose your own levels. So you see on the 15-minute for the SPY, it actually looks to me like a bullish chart. But if you're in shorter time frames like 5 or 1, I think you're going to be looking at it a little bit more bearish. So to me, that's why I'm still in the bull camp, because I'm keeping on the 15-minute chart there for the SPY. And I can show you how that looks right here. Just a quick peek.
Jay with a really good comment here. The hardest part of trading is holding on to winners. It's so tempting to sell big winners instead of letting them run. For example, Crispr, LNTH, Coco, etc. So Jay, here's what I would say. I agree with that. Unless it's an investment for me, like my Apple trade or my Portillo's trade, I struggle with the same thing that you're talking about here. What I would say is, what do you use to determine exit? Is it an indicator? Is it a price level? Are you watching the momentum of the stock? Are you using any indicators for that? What determines when you exit a stock that is a winner in this case?
All right, there's we'll look to see if Apple makes that move a little bit higher. It could go on the 5-minute. It's just got a little bit of some bottoming action around that 173. See if it pushes towards the highs there. SPY still hanging in here. I think the 412s are the levels to watch for. A lot of wicks through the 412s. No body close on the 15-minute below 412. 15-minute charts are sometimes a lot better once we get past 10 a.m. Once you're through to the opening ranges kind of thing.
13, I think you and I are kind of looking at the same thing. You let me know if we're not, though. We're looking at this slow trend line break to the downside or down trend here. If we can go ahead and break that, or if we can go ahead and test again. We still haven't closed the gap, right? So that's kind of what I'm quote unquote hoping for, especially because I'm still short Disney. And I'd love for it to flush to 101.50s.
Yeah, so that looks to me like what, right? You're getting a declining triangle on a bullish break to the upside on the SPY. So that's why I'm still in the bullish camp, literally just because of that line, right? And unless we break lows or we're seeing kind of action towards the bottom of the range, yeah, that could get you a little bit worrisome. But on the, what is that, a 10-minute or a 5-minute?
This is currently the 1 minute. Here's the 5.
Yeah, that's why that looks bearish on the 1. Go to the 15 and look how it looks a little bit different. To me, how does that look now? Like if you just, your assessment.
To me, the 15 just doesn't have enough candles to make a good assessment. But if I'm going on here, yeah, I can definitely go ahead and go either direction. So the way I'd go ahead and play this is either one, you can go short near the VWAP area, which again, I don't want to do, or you could wait for this pop. So I would go ahead and wait till the pop goes ahead and happens towards this trend line to the upside. Then I would get in on the retest or close enough to it, or I would go ahead and wait to see if we close the gap around here and try to go ahead and buy it. So more of where would I buy versus where would I go ahead and short. Whereas in Disney, we go ahead and go to the left side. You see 102 is where you had that support crack. Now we go ahead and see if we can just flush down to it. Unfortunately, it has worked, but just not enough for me to take my gains.
All right, we'll see what happens there. Definitely, we're all watching, right? I mean, that's what it's all about, right? We'll see what happens in the next couple of moves.
Jay is saying, Ryan, the first target is usually 20%. And you're talking, of course, about equity, not options. After that, I sort of raise stops and I take profits up another 15 or 10% and so on. So it almost sounds like a customized trailing stop once you get to 20%, Jay. I like that. Crow saying, Crow had steak, eggs, hash browns, and bacon for breakfast, might have gout. Hopefully you do not have gout, but that sounds like a delicious breakfast.
That sounds like a breakfast of champs right
yeah,
there.
I was just going to say, I had AG1.
You might not have lunch, but you might not have lunch if you had that breakfast, but hey.
Crow out here getting it done. You know how it goes. He's not scavenging for worms. He's having steak, eggs, and bacon.
Oh.
Crowd would definitely a nice little move to the upside. Keep it out on that 136 area.
Test.
You can find some resistance.
SPY's trying to test into the 412s there. And so you're
break
getting it on the 5-minute. You're going to get a little break, I feel like there. The key is just to recover. To the previous close. Yeah, you need that 411.55 break to 411. That would be the nice little flush there for you.
I need a break to the previous close.
Disney's just on that stair step. I see it. I can't blame you for going after it. Netflix is actually turning over and rolling over, so that's helping you also, Zunaid. That's a nice little rollover there, Netflix. Unity still at the top of the range, so I could either just take the money off right here because I see the SPY going down. But with that being said, that's why I'm staying in it. Now I get a 5-minute wick, and where's the price action on the SPY go? Right back above 412. So
wow, here's a ticker. Here's a ticker I haven't pulled up in a long time. Look at SDC Smile Direct Club, 47 cents on an absolutely putrid looking daily chart.
Can you tell Jason already that who got in trouble in a meeting for calling out SDC as a scam? That was me. Oh man, I mean the price action says it all, bro. The price action says it all, man.
I mean, that's terrible. UFAB looking like it's trying to bounce off its VWAP here.
I remember I got yelled at.
MVST trying to break the top off. Carmen, I know you were looking at this. You might get 2 here on this move.
You guys know I don't hold my tongue.
Jason's traveling today, Mitch, but I think at some point you should do a victory lap on that one.
Oh, you know, I'll give it to him. You know it. Like that's what me and Jason love to do because we hit each other, bro. We have fun with it, right? And that's what it's all about too. Like when you have stock friends, you can't get mad at each other.
No.
You guys, it's kind of like
too short for that shit.
Yeah, dude, just punt at each other, have some fun, smile, and keep going because there's gonna be one that Jason gets right, I get wrong, right? And so we just kind of like have fun with it sometimes. I think that's what matters too.
Look at us today, Mitch. You said you were in bullish mode. I said SPY was going to fill the gap. How many times do we yell at each other?
Exactly,
0.
bro. Like,
0.
And I think that just shows you like when you're really making that next step up, right? And also, right? Like just realize that's what trading is all about, team. You're always going to find somebody on the other side. Don't be mad at them. They're seeing
It's
a
what makes
different
a
side of the
market.
coin.
That's what makes a market. That's just how it goes. By the way, Jay adding some more context to how to scale out of winners. I think this is really valuable content for those that you are holding stocks for more than 5 minutes. Ryan, with that being said, I was going to take some more Crispr off at 70, but thinking 80 now, raising stops on the way up. So, Jay, it seems like what you're doing is you're reacting to the price action that you see, and that's what we do as traders. You're seeing momentum. You're seeing it continue to push, thinking you can get a little bit more out of it, but adding a trailing stop so you don't give it back. To me, that sounds like primo risk management.
Disney, new lows. Let's go. Come on. Can we get
there you go,
to
Zunaid.
our 50-cent mark and bounce, or what are we going to do? Come on.
Is that your trade in your Moomoo account?
No, that's the AI trade on my Moomoo account. So that Moomoo account is up about $7.
Let's go. So are you still in that?
Yeah. I'm looking to get. I won't sell it till we get to about 21s, hopefully later today. So as long as this kind of trend kind of continues to the upside, we'll be good in that one. We're just wanting this because in a few different places I've got a Disney short and we've got an options contract here as well. So
can't blame you, dude. At least the hourly looks really good on that AI. And I think from now, as long as it's holding pullbacks around 2040s, you're still looking really clean on AI.
Yeah.
Let's see if like prior resistance becomes support, right? You could see it in the pre-market action off the 1 hour chart on that AI. So it doesn't look too bad out there, man. All right.
We'll just go ahead.
Who's winning the competition at the moment? Ryan. Of course, Ryan is winning. Of course,
Ryan's killing it.
Ryan's killing it, baby. I've been like kind of just around the starting capital, right? And I've battled back and forth. I've had moves up, I've had moves down, but Ryan started the gates to the upside, baby. And that's what you kind of need to do, really. I'll just be honest. When you do that on a small account, it really helps, right? Ryan's not feeling nowhere near the pressure he was feeling on day one.
Yeah,
all right,
you're absolutely right about that, Mitch. That's really well said, because I was definitely, and I even told you guys ahead of time, I was like, I know this seems silly considering we're talking about $500 account when we trade accounts that are much larger than that, but I knew it was going to be difficult, and I'm very, very fortunate I started off with a gain. Last trade was a loss, but we're going to be coming out ripping next week, believe me.
Out the SPXL trade there. There goes the SPY to the downside, and you might still get your fill, Ryan. You might still get your fill.
The gap fill. Yeah. I was going to say I don't have an order out on SQQQ.
No, your gap fill.
Rocketing.
Yeah, your gap fill. You're close to it now. You're seeing the action. That's why it's kind of hard to hold Unity right now in this pullback. I'm just holding it. I'll hold break even on the rest of it. See if it wants to come back to 29.
Why in the world?
Out of the SPXL trade for like it's about 15 cents of a loss there, but it's so small because I took out half, and I took out half at a nice profit. Working it, baby. Let's go. All right, taking a look around to see what else is making moves. Jeremy, oh man. SDC is a Jeremy stock. Well, man, you know what you might want to do. But we'll see what happens on Unity. It's trying to hold the VWAP right now. That's what I'm just watching now because that's the only position I have on. And the SPY did test down there. So I'm sure a lot of people got maybe their stops hit really quickly. So we'll look to see if these come back.
HCDI did go into the halt, Crow. So that was a good one here. Halted at 1040. Big break higher. The stock. This Hudson Custom Development shares are trading higher after the company announced a buyer waived all contingencies on a $14 million sale of townhomes. So huge move here in HCDI. This is up 117% here today. Just an absolute monster move. Not in this.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and head out and get ready for an interview that we have coming up later today, which is going to be with Sports Radar. We're going to have the CEO on. The ticker is SRAD. They did report earnings just today, so it'll be a fun conversation. And it's about sports betting and the industry and things like that, which will be really exciting because that's going to go ahead and lead to a different virtual event that we have. But I'm going to go get ready for that. And I'll go ahead and be back later on.
I was going to say, before you bounce, Z, is he going to be at that sports betting conference on May 24th that we're doing virtually that you just mentioned?
So go ahead. If he's not there, someone from that area in that field
Amazing.
will be. So it's kind of just, building that network. By the way, Disney new lows, the contract that we purchased are up 10%. Do what you see fit with that. I'm going to go ahead and close it out because I want to be locked and loaded for the interview as well. So if y'all have any questions, this will be a great interview, especially if you're in the, you got the NBA playoffs going on and everything, got the NHL hockey playoffs going on. So stick around. It should be a fun one. I'll be back.
All right. We'll see you in a little bit, Zunaid. And I do want to say that, dude, I don't know what's going on with Genie. You guys know I'm an investor. So you know what? I'm allowed to hit them. You know what I mean, Ryan? When you're in a stock, I feel like you're allowed to talk about it. I've been in this stock for over a year. So,
Which one?
Genie. And it's the competition of what we're about to talk to. So I'm actually talking negative about my own play here. So just to put that out there, right? I'm trying my best to get Genius Sports on. You guys see it right here. And so if you guys want to help me live trading, that's what it's all about, team. I'm trying to get Genius Sports on also. Reached out to him. I said, as the shareholder, I'd love an update interview. Seems like there's no update interviews in months. My door is always open, team. I'm trying. I'm talking to Niccolo De Masi. He's been on multiple times. Genius Sports putting out some really good news. But I'm like, come on and talk about it, right? Well, we'll see if I'm able to get them on. I'm trying, team. I'm trying.
Keep it up, Mitch. That's the type of content that we like. Looking at the SPY intraday chart, we completely faded that move. My call was for this to happen in the afternoon. Oh, Lord, we got it earlier here. So if we flip over to the main SPY chart that we take a look at all of the time, the level that I had was 410.68. We're currently at 410.45. And remember what I said, I wanted to see a close or multiple closes above this trend line to invalidate it. Got a huge pop here this morning, but we are below that trend line now. If we close here, this trend line is still going to be on, and it's going to take even more strength to get rid of it. So really, really interesting to see where the SPY finishes here. Amazing move. Amazing move off the CPI print and then the reversal as soon as the market opened here. This is crazy.
Really close to getting out of here on Unity. Like I talked about, I have the stop there at 28.40s. It's really close to stopping me out here, team. We'll see if it pulls back and just gets me out. I still have a nice little gain on the day, and that's what it's all about. All right, we'll see what else is going on. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving, team.
Yeah, I'm looking around too.
All right, let's keep it going. Let's take a look at what else is making moves here. I'm going to the SPY right now, seeing that we are starting to bounce after what we did was fill all the moves. So Ryan, there you go, my friend. You got pretty much your filled move there. Now it's going to be a question of, does it bounce from these levels? And I think that's what you're seeing right now.
Definitely as seeing a bounce right now.
Yeah, it cut through and then just comes right back. And you can see a lot of volume coming in on the last two candles. So that's something to keep in mind on. It could have been some stop outs. Now some new trades coming in here. And you guys can see it right here. Like, look at that. Boom. So you guys see that? That's where we came from. We cut through on a wick. We recover that on a wick. So let's see on a 5-minute basis. You don't even have to go, too far back. Maybe 5 minutes. Do you ever close back below the 410.50 area? If you could close back below the 410.50 area, then yeah, this might go lower. But if you start recovering here, I think that's when we could find a little bit of the chop game. We'll find out. Unity, right back up. And this is why I'm just sticking into the range in Unity and giving myself a little bit of room on the downside if I do get stopped out of it, right? So there's Unity bouncing a little bit. It just seems like it's stuck within this range. So I'm just letting it play within the range. Below the range, I get out. Above the range, I have a huge profit. So it's kind of like at this point, it's like just let it play, right? At least from my mentality.
Laura's saying thoughts on AQST. They have $4 to $12 price targets and make an oral film medication like Suboxone. Only $240 right now. Could be a good long play. So I don't have any angle on the company itself. So the only thing I can really tell you here is about the chart. Looks like we traded right up into a resistance area. So for me, there's some pretty good resistance right here from this 243 level all the way up to 3. A break above that probably takes you to 4, though. Those price targets that you're talking about are 12 to 18 month projections, so that would be kind of a longer term play. I'm not sure about the actual product. I don't know about the company, but nice little curl here into a resistance area.
Yeah, I know what the oral film is for opiate addiction. So that's what Suboxone is for. It's used in a lot of, like, let's say, rehab facilities and things like that to try to take people off opiates. Pretty much tricks the mind that it's on an opiate, and that way the addiction can slowly go away versus going into kind of like, all the negatives of addiction. So maybe this is a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. I honestly don't know how opiate sales are. So that's another thing, right? You'd have to maybe look at how opiate sales have been doing. If they've been doing well, you might need some more Suboxone. So that's what I would think. But hey, that's for you to do the research, Laura. Unfortunately, we don't have that research.
Baba breaking down here through the VWAP, trading lower here on Baba now. Just heard a squawk on that.
There you go.
SQQQ highs, boy, what a monster. I wish I wasn't as kind of gun shy to take that. That would have been a huge trade here today. Maybe not huge, but that would have been a good one.
All right, we'll see what happens there. If it can continue higher. PTPI, that came back down. How's that AI play? It's like holding on here, starting to pull back a little bit. Unity even starting to pull back a little bit. SPY's is battling here. Will it go lower? Now it's making that attempt there to come right back down like I just talked about. So that's probably going to get me out of my Unity play. SPY coming down here to the 410.50s now. Talked about how would we go through that 410.50s. There you see it, a little crack, 410.50s. Let's see if this 5-minute actually closes below that. That's a big move there. If the SPY closes below that, that's the reaction from the CPI. Now we've made it all the way back. Do we break through those levels and go lower? So that's what I'm looking at now. We'll see what happens. All right. It's always good to see so many of you guys in the chat, and I've really, truly enjoyed this week. We've been killing it on our small account challenge. Like always, you guys want to check out Moomoo, you can do so yourself. We have people signing up every single day. So there you guys have it. I'll throw it up in the chat there as we start to wrap up. In just about 5 or 8 minutes, we'll be getting out of here and getting you guys over to a great interview. Of course, SRAD coming up, Sports Radar. And you guys know how I like my sports data companies. Unfortunately, I might be on the other end of the stick.
It should be an interesting interview for you. I'm looking forward to that too. I'm going to get rolling here, Mitch, but what I'm looking for is the same thing, right? I want to see what the SPY does. To me, the broader market here is going to tell us quite a bit. I'm pleased to see the gap fill here. We'll see if we get another bounce attempt here in the SPY. If we do, we'll probably take some SQQQ in the small account. I'll let you know if that's the case. I'm off for the next 3 market days, so I will join you guys on Tuesday. Have a good one, everybody, and we'll see ya.
All right, guys. Did get out of that Unity trade there, so just want to let you guys know. Stopped out of the rest of Unity. Was able to take the first profit, just not able to take the second, right? This is why I take a lot of the times first profits, because what does it do for me? I end the day green regardless, right? And I think that that's a very important aspect when you're in day trading, right? We want to add those day trades and the green days up, keep battling, right? Sometimes we're going to push. Sometimes we're not. The market, let's say if for any reason the SPY would have made the move up here towards the 415, it would have been an awesome day for me, right? And I think that that's what matters. Now it just turns into an okay day, but green is green, pat on the back, and we move forward, baby. That's what it's all about in trading. We always got to come in with the mentality to do what? Execute, have the plans, attack, attack, attack. And then always, first things first, is capital preservation, right? We'll see what happens on the rest of the day. But truly, we have been coming back. And I think that, we're going into a time where we really need to see if we could take out the daily levels on the SPY. Because if we do, well, you're going to have a lot of people yelling bull market, right? I feel like it's been a bull market coming back into some tech names. Now there's a whole nother ball game. If we can get this SPY back here into the Bollinger Band expansion towards like 420s, 417s, get through those highs, and really start talking about the new bull market. And for a while there, I was like, yeah, we can't really say that. Well, through 420, we can definitely say that. So we'll see what happens there on the S&P 500. Of course, that would be 20% off the lows, and that's why I consider it a bull market. We'll see if we take that next step up and keep pushing higher. Of course, we're going to get into some kind of sports betting companies, some data right now. Some of these companies have been doing really well, right? DraftKings pushing higher, right? That's been really bouncing back. So we have been seeing some of the sports betting environment coming back. And like I always talk about with sports betting, is this going to be, state by state as we continue to go more and more to better legalize online gambling? I think, of course, we're going to need more and more data. Another thing to keep in mind is with sports overall, right? What do you see nowadays when you're watching a sports like kind of a presentation, right? When I watch basketball games now, what do I see? I see so much data that gets picked up. In Major League Baseball, so much data that's getting picked up, telling me about the speed of the ball, the rotation, how high did the ball go up? What was the apex height? What was the ending result, right? Did it go 400 feet? Did it go 450? Would it have gone through that scoreboard and gone 500 feet, right? Things like this are always cool to find out when we're watching sports. So coming up in just a few minutes here, Zunaid is going to kill it with a great interview for you guys. So I'm excited to tune in on that. You guys know I'm big on sports data, because at the end of the day, that's what we're going to need to continue moving forward these sports betting platforms, and even more the experiences for viewers, even in the stadiums, right? I mean, let's just be honest. Major League Baseball is struggling for some attendance right now. And I think that one of the best ways that Major League Baseball can make that step up, and I'm just talking baseball because I'm a big baseball fan, but I think one of the biggest ways is bringing more experiences into the game, more analytics, more understanding of what's going on, so that we as fans can truly do what? Experience more of the game. Now, I don't need an experience when I go to get my my soft drink. I want to see more into the actual game, more into the analytics on that side. And that's what I look for. I know Zunaid deals with certain things like this in the esports game, right? I mean, let's just be honest. The more analytics that you get as an esports announcer, what does that do for you, Zunaid?
Well, it helps us tell a story about what's happening, and it kind of gives the players, and not just the players, shooting, the fans at home, the insight of, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what I need to keep an eye out for, this, that, the other. It kind of helps recap the story that we're telling, and through commentary and everything else as well. So, I mean, hey, look, I'll put it this way. My 16th birthday party had more attendance than Oakland A's baseball games nowadays. All right. Yeah. So baseball at Oakland A's can definitely use a little bit of help, and maybe the move to Vegas will go ahead and help them out.
Yeah, a bunch of things. And I think that really it's all about the experience. You know about that, Zunaid. You see people that come up and show up to esports to watch the experience, right? And what are you going to need more of? That analytics behind that, even behind like players, right? Like someone playing the game, right? And so things like this is what makes us tune in. That's what shows us what? The improbable, right? We love as consumers to see what? That something was like, let's say 90% or 95% chance of not happening, yet the player made the impossible, right? So those are the things that truly blow you away.
So here's what I'll go ahead and do before we go and start things off with Carson here in a moment. Let me go ahead and share. So I love the Raptors. The Raptors esports team, Raptors Uprising GC, I work with them quite a bit. They are amazing. They work with IBM to go ahead and help them out with analytics. But this is a Raptors shoot around. And you'll see on the dashboard on the top side, anytime a shot is taken, anytime anything that is instrumental to the Raptors to know, you see it updated live. Matter of fact, there are apps out there where Steve Nash kind of walks you through, hey, if you want to go ahead and shoot free throws, you lay your camera to the side, you let the motion get detected, and it gives you insight on where your form is, different things like that. So, you know, we talk about AI, different things like that. And obviously with the sports betting, it's a little bit different. I mean, I like to go ahead and donate some money to sports books as well. So it'll be a fun conversation, but no question, data matters no matter what type of business you're in, especially in the sports betting industry where you're trying to get an edge. You're trying to be 3% better than break even, and you can go ahead and make money. But, you know, let's see if we can go ahead and find some information out here shortly.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, man, I could talk all day on this, but I'm going to do you the favor and actually get down so you guys can hear from the people that you want to hear from. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get to the interview. I'm going to go down, Zunaid.
Appreciate you,
You do your best, my friend.
Sounds good, Carson. Just give me a quick thumbs up when you are ready to go and we can get rock and rolling. And ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking about this interview for quite some time and we finally go ahead and get a chance to do it. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and bring onto the stage. It's going to be Carson Karl, who is the CEO of Sports Radar, ticker SRAD. How you doing, sir?
Very well. So thanks for having me. And I just followed your conversation. So you are a real expert. So I'm very excited.
Well, hey, I would love to dive into the nitty gritty of things because, you want to hear from the CEO. But for the folks at home watching, if you could explain it to me like I'm five, what is it that your company does?
We are starting with data. We are providing here technology, mainly that's nowadays AI, processing this and translating it into products. The industries where we're selling it is mainly sports betting, gambling, gaming, and we are doing this for media companies. Plus, we are providing those services to leagues and teams.
All right. Now, I want to talk about the earnings that you just went ahead and released, where you had delivered 24% revenue, and I think you had about an adjusted of 37% on the EBITDA in terms of growth as well. What's kind of led to this growth, but also more importantly, how are you going to be able to sustain it 6 months, a year down the road?
Well, look, we proved this now in the last 5 years that this company is growing in a channel of 35 to 45% every year. There was only 2020 where we had less sport content because of the COVID influence. But for the rest, we proved that we are simply leveraging the market growth by kind of 3 times. And depending on what predictions you're taking, we see a growth in the next 5 to 10 years between 9 to 13%. That's the analyst. So put it 3 times on Sport Radar and you are where we are, and we demonstrated that we can do this. That's thanks to our global footprint. We are around the globe. We have most of the companies as our clients, and that's definitely very helpful.
Now, when it comes to, because you're primarily a B2B business, is that correct in terms of sports betting and things like that?
We're a B2B business, no B2C activities.
What is it that sports books or the gambling world gets from you that helps give them an edge in taking my money?
Various things. So we start with the data. Some of them might get only the data. And here's about the real-time data. It's not about the pre-match data. So that's something you can get from many sources. It's really the real-time information which matters. We are drifting more and more into an in-play market, also in the US. Much more exciting. So if you watch the match, you want to have that kind of entertainment, betting opportunities. You want to do this in running. So this is what you get as a basic product. Then we put the probabilities on it. You guys discussed it. So the deep data, which we collect now with computer vision, is giving you a much better understanding who might win that match. Is that maybe a point in a tennis match? What is happening if you have a sweet spot hit with that ball? So these are things which you can much better put into probabilities. We call that odds. So this is then the proposition which you give to the bookmaker, and they can offer this. And we go then one step further, that they give us back their liquidity, their tickets. We are doing the risk management for this. This is basically mathematical Monte Carlo iterations and simulations about the risk to manage this. So then you have more or less a turnkey solution as an operator, if you want, from Sport Radar.
What I love is where live betting is kind of going in the industry, right? Especially whenever I watch the Super Bowl, any big games that are happening, you may have missed the chance to go ahead and bet on it early on, but you can see the action where, hey, this person's really hot right now, or hey, this team is cold. You can go ahead, the odds adjust based on the information you're providing, and the consumer at home can then go ahead and take advantage and place their bet. So I think that's definitely interesting. But let's talk about the question that I feel like a lot of folks are waiting to hear. Where do you see the U.S. headed in terms of full legalization of betting? I'm talking about the big, states such as California, Florida, Texas. I'm biased, so let me get some in Georgia. Where do you see that headed?
It's a difficult question for a European to tell you about the US heading. So I had so many meetings here, so many different parties on the table. There are the tribes, there are the leagues, there are some kind of lobbyists saying, okay, gaming and gambling per se is not good. So I think we saw now after 5 years that PASPA is there. So we see that this is accepted. We see it's really good for the sport. It's doing good for the taxes and for the people. So I think that's the first observation here. Looking now into where might that go in California and in Texas, I think in Texas, we see early signs that there is a chance for an opening of this huge state. So in California, we saw what has happened with the lobbying. And I think that's mainly because those parties need to talk to each other. So we have here the tribes with strong arguments. We have some interested parties which want to protect people. Responsible gaming is a big, big topic that needs to be solved much better than it is at the moment. But I think if we solve this, we will get there. Looking to Florida, wow, you're going to need to explain me what the tribe is doing there and how powerful they are. That's difficult to understand. But I think in a very general way, we are getting more into a maturity. We all understand their regulation is very good. So that's the only way how to address this. It provides taxes to the state. It provides funding to sport. And it's an entertainment if we do it responsible. So we're going to need to create rules how to do this responsible. And I see the states on a very good way here. And from a regulatory framework, I think this is top notch. Looking now into technology, the exciting thing is the folks in the US are really tech savvy. So sport data is so core to every sport fan in the US that the data consumption is much bigger than in any other place in the world which we see. And that's great because that gives us the opportunity to deploy technology. Computer vision is a buzzword. Artificial intelligence is a buzzword here, but we can develop player-related markets. And our observation is the sport fan gets more and more related to the player. I'm interested in LeBron. It doesn't really matter. Is he playing for the Lakers or maybe for the Warriors soon? Yeah. And that's something where a player-related market can help a lot. So it can help a lot to do preposition bets based on this player. And you need underlying technology. You need computer vision to create those kind of things. I think that is something which will pave the way and adopt it also for other markets. In Asia, we see Japan might regulate, and I think they will go quite similar ways what we see in the US. So the modern way of sports betting is created in the United States. That's the reason why we are so excited. That's the reason why we started so early in the market, and why I'm so frequently there and looking on this as my highest priority.
I love so many things you said, but the main thing I love is responsible gambling, right? Because all jokes aside, there are unfortunately individuals that kind of get caught up in the betting and not responsibly doing that. So I love that you kind of said, hey, we need to focus on that to make sure that this is fun for everybody when they're out with your buddies and whatever the case may be. So I love that you said that. And yeah, player propositions. I mean, you know, betting on the game is one thing, but you have that favorite player who are like, you know what, he's going to score more than 40 points, or he's going to score more than 3 goals, or he's going to get more than 7 aces, or whatever the case may be. So I 100% agree, especially if, do you think that we're going to see, and I'll come back to the US here in a second, but even in Europe, do you feel like they're going to be betting available in the stadiums? That way fans can go ahead and place a bet like you can get a hot dog at the same time type scenarios. Let's say in like the next 5 to 10 years. Do you see that happening?
It's already
worldwide. I know there are a few places that have it, but do you see it kind of expanding?
Of course, this will expand. So no question about it. So we have now 5G in most of the arenas already. So that will give you quite other opportunities to visualize this, to capture it, to enrich it with data, and to make it appealing. And the end of the story is a customized, we call it customized user journey. So you know the behavior, you know what you want to see, and maybe you also want to see a different match, not the match which you're just joining in the arena. You want to have the scores of 2 or 3 or 4 teams playing parallel in this way. You want to have opportunities, you want to see the highlights customized for you, and you want to get a betting opportunity. That's for sure the future. Understanding client demands, understanding where you are at which time, and what you want to see, and give you these opportunities. Yes, that's the future.
I want to talk about the U.S. a little bit because I believe you all had growth in the U.S. Talking about that segment, you had about 55% profitability on that side of things. what's kind of been the key factor in the US that's kind of helped you with such tremendous growth? And obviously we have a chat, we have Sultan in the chat asking about the fan engagement experience different between the US and the Europe. So if I get insights on those two things, that'd be great.
Well, let's go first on the segments which we have in the US. We are not reporting this in this detail, but looking from a revenue stream, we have a product where we have the video cameras on the coaching areas or on the playing grounds, and we give you all the insights. You showed this with the Raptors. You showed that screen there.
Yeah.
So this data is collected from cameras, then you apply computer vision on it, and then you're getting that meaningful things. So that's the first segment. Second segment is media business. So that's the Apples, the Yahoos, the Fox, whatsoever. So they're consuming mostly our data, sometimes widgets, sometimes scores. Then we have the sports betting business, which is the fastest growing segment. Plus we have the advertising business, that's programmatic advertising. And the two segments, sports betting and programmatic advertising, that shoot at 80% plus. So the revenue growth is phenomenal. Looking to the media business, it's stable growing. It's stable growing in a high double digit, but not as fast as the 80% which we see in betting. And the same goes for the leagues. It's a stable growth. But the real acceleration which we see here comes obviously from sports betting. Legalization with the states in play is in our favor. And it comes from programmatic advertising, where we had cool events. We had the Super Bowl, we had March Madness. So that's driving attention. And then, of course, the bookmakers are looking how to cheapest acquire the clients. Programmatic advertising is the solution of the day. That's technology optimizing the reach there.
Yeah, I think no matter what business you're in, the user experience is the best part, and how easy and efficient you can make it for them, and enjoyable as well. And it's cool because, you know, your biggest partners, you've got the NBA, you've got NASCAR, you've got MLB, you've got ITF, the International Tennis Federation, you've got NHL. So you've definitely got all the big clients there. Is there anything that you can tell us before I turn the floor over to you? Anything else that could be in the pipeline that our viewers should kind of be aware of that you're allowed to tell us? Of course.
You had that question about fan engagement. And I'm talking quite frequently with our partners, and amongst them is, of course, sometimes I have the pleasure to talk with Adam Silver, the commissioner from the NBA. We have the biggest partnership with the NBA. That's on the core of his thinking. How can I get a better fan engagement? How can I promote the league in a better way? What can I do digital to enrich my product? And it goes into this customized user experience. You understand who is sitting on the other side, and then you understand, I know already you are a fan from LeBron. I give you the scores, I give you the statistics, and then I guide you through the match. I give you the highlights. All those kind of things is really top of the mind for NBA, and we are, as the partner, they are helping with the technology. It's enriching the digital experience. And that leads to a bigger fan engagement. And that's exactly what the leagues want to have. They want to grow. They want to reach the young fans. And if I'm making now one step more, the next step is obviously to unite the virtual world. You talked about this before, and the real sport world. The real sport world is driven by deep data. Esport is already only created by deep data. Merging the both, imagine how cool that would be. You buy a token, and then you're exchanging a virtual player with a real match. You can interact in this real match and create a lot of fun around this. So that's where the market goes. That's where the future goes for us. The partnerships is so important. NBA, NHL, MLB, to develop these things together, to share that vision and use our global reach.
Yeah, I love that you said the virtual, sports world of it, because I come from an esports background as well. The NBA has an NBA 2K league. You've got Call of Duty that is so massive. You've got League of Legends that had over 1 million people watching on Twitch, and they had filled up Chase Stadium where the Warriors play for League of Legends finals as well. How big of an opportunity do you see esports being in this type of field, whether that's in the US, worldwide, Asia, which is another big area as well? How big of an opportunity is that for your company specifically?
Well, it's a huge opportunity. It's still probably 2 or 3 years ahead. The investment is now. So the investment which you need to do to capture this opportunity is now. Speaking about this to capital market is very difficult. Therefore, I'm very happy that we can share this kind of views on it. But it's something you see the big tech giants moving in that space. What is the reason why the big techs are capturing this data together with the NFL or the NBA or whatsoever? What is the reason why Sony is looking into this? And if you combine then the two and saying, well, more than 2/3 of the young population doesn't make a difference. Is it a virtual match or is it a real match? You're beginning to combine the two of them. And that's where it's heading. Yes.
Yeah, and a matter of fact, the Olympics, I was just taking a look here. The Olympics also has their first esports going on later on as well. So even the Olympics is getting involved. But Carson, it's been a great conversation so far. I could do this for much more, but I don't want to take up more of your time. But I do want to turn the floor over to you in case there's anything else that you wanted to talk about that I didn't get a chance to bring up.
No. So the only thing what I can talk about the numbers is we have a hypergrowth. We predicted this hypergrowth goes to 25% organic revenue growth. We delivered 37% increase of EBITDA. We delivered a better cash conversion, and we will continue to do this. So we will continue to deliver what we promise.
I love it, man. This is definitely a story I'm going to pay close attention to. Carson, I appreciate you hanging out with us, and I look forward to having much more conversations with you down the road. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Take care. Well, there you have it. You have your questions answered straight from the executives. We appreciate you hanging out with us in the chat as well. And yeah, look, sports betting, especially with the big states, at least from the U.S. side of things, haven't quite gotten involved, right? You've got Georgia, you've got Florida, you've got California, especially when the U.S. goes ahead and hosts their Olympics. And when you have the World Cup coming up in the U.S., and then I think it's 2026 or something like that down the road, those are going to be big opportunities for sports betting, in my opinion. And the esports world is a whole different ballgame that I've definitely, like, he mentioned, investing now to go ahead and get the rewards later on. But we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us, and we hope to have more conversations like this in the future. And if you have any feedback, feel free to let us know. Thank you for tuning in today.